Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Beach Lifestyle Radio Show on the Simply G Media Network. I'm the co-host of the show, Neil Haley. You can first visit G's website at simplyg.com to check out all the cool stuff that's on his website. You could read his blog, listen to radio show, and much, much more, and learn more about what made G a Vi millionaire. And also, you can go to TotalTutor.net to find out more information, and Simply G Media to listen to all the radio shows. So I want to welcome to the program the host of the show, GJ Reynolds, 5-star ambassador, Vi millionaire, top producer. G, how are you?
I'm doing great. Just keep going. Keep going.
What else we could say? CEO. We can add a bunch of different titles to you, especially winner of the Dale Brown Challenge, author, and every jack of all trades. And I know we have another person that's kind of trying. And is doing definitely modeling a lot of your strategies of success as an entrepreneur, and I'm excited to talk to him. And really, what's happening is lots of entrepreneurs just don't understand how to stay consistent, to surround themselves with the right people, all the different things that you say, G.
Well, anyway, with all those titles and accolades, those are all really nice. But as everybody that knows me well, it's simply G. Just call me G, and I'm cool with that. As far as our guest today, he's an entrepreneur. He's been very successful. He has a pure heart and a passion for people, and a compassion for life. And we've become dear friends, and we've been working together for the last 4 years, and we've had a lot of successes. We've had a few ups and downs, and through it all, we've stayed the course and been able to have, build a solid business and a solid team. And most importantly, we've had a lot of fun along the way. So please welcome to the show, Nate Ridgeway, the marathon man, the guy that can run a marathon, a 50K, and soon a 100K. So welcome to the show, Nate.
Hey, G, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. So I know we were talking recently about, some of the things that we see people do, in their businesses and building teams. And I know you were sharing some of your thoughts. And, what do you see some of the things that you see people doing on a regular basis, especially when they start to have a little bit of success?
Well, I have to look back kind of over my journey, I guess, which would be the best place to start. When I think back over, my journey of figuring this business model out, most of the people who come to the business model of, sharing the Body by Vi Challenge, we oftentimes we're not doing something like this, prior to promoting the challenge. And that was certainly the truth for me. I'm a musician. And, all of a sudden we find ourselves in territory where, we're unfamiliar. And I know that I can speak for myself when I say that at first, I began to act in a way that was not congruent with who I was as a person. I had this picture in my mind of what I thought that I needed to do to be successful. And really what happened for me was I stepped into a bit of a false reality. Now all of a sudden I didn't talk like myself. I didn't act like myself. Everybody saw me as, the big Body by Vi ghost, coming, I was scaring people away. Rather than just, being at ease and just being myself and being excited like I would about anything else, sharing a new movie that was coming out or maybe some new, hobby that I had just, gotten involved in that I was excited about. Just being me, but an excited version of me rather than, just trying to recreate a whole new persona. So that's one of the big things that I see some people, at first, doing. And then as I began to, just relax and be genuinely excited about the challenge, there's nothing wrong with any of us being genuinely enthused or excited about anything that we're really genuinely enthused and excited about. And so our friends can tell the difference, our family members can tell the difference when we're just trying to sell them on something and when we're really pumped about something. So when I just got pumped about the challenge and just gave in to my natural bent and gifts and my natural skill sets, and just, went out and started to share the power of the challenge and what it was doing to change people's lives, man, that's when it really took off.
And that's so true, Nate, in a lot of ways, that you can't change who you are. And I learned that on the radio. When I first started, I tried to be this program robot who literally was trying to read everything off of a teleprompter, like someone we know, and different things like this. And it was so robotic, it wasn't me. And I decided I'm going to change the way I interact on the radio. I'm going to be Neil. And that's what I am in my business. Everything, I have to be myself. If I'm not being true to myself, Nate, people are going to see right through that. And guess what's going to happen? You're not going to have success.
Absolutely.
And then that's the great one word, absolutely, G. And I know you can expound on this.
Well, I too, in some of my successes and some of my failures, when I was having most of my success, I was definitely being who I am. And one of the things that I struggle with is that obviously you guys know me really well, and I'm somewhat of a prankster at times. I'm definitely ornery, and I like messing around. And then there was also a time where I'm very focused, very driven, very strategic in my business. One of the things that I found is that when I'm playful and I'm, joking around and doing some of the crazy stuff, especially when I'm messing around on the phone, people actually liked it. But I thought, it might not be as professional. It might not be, do I really want people to see that side of me? And so I started partitioning that off, and then I became really rigid and more direct. And, obviously there's a time and place for that in business, but it doesn't work all the time. And I just had to start listening to a lot of the people and saying, hey, we like that side about you. We like that more than the rigid side. although that does create business, it does create, a system and a strategy that we can all follow. It's just you got to have some fun, you got to have some leeway. And once I started doing that, being more of who I am, the more success I've had. And then one other thing is meeting new people. I would never meet anybody unless they would talk to me first. And then I had to find out what works for me. So I'm a big sports fan, and I know a lot about different sports and teams and players and stats. And so anytime I see somebody wearing a different team's, sweatshirt or jersey or whatever it may be, I know a little bit about it, and I can strike up a conversation and say, hey, are you a Celtics fan? Are you a Lakers fan? So wearing a Shaquille O'Neal jersey. Okay, I've had the privilege of meeting Shaquille, and his mentor is my mentor, and sometimes they'll just say, hey, it was a gift. Sometimes they're a big fan, but it strikes up a conversation and it becomes real. And it's all about being authentic, and that's one of the main things I see is we have to remain ourselves and be authentic.
Agree about that, Nate. It's such a great point. And I think that when you said that you, at first, when you were starting, you pretty much played a system, but people were looking at you and saying, this isn't the Nate I know. So when you made phone calls, you weren't being real, and you saw that you had to be real to really promote something that's life-changing.
Yeah, for sure. I think that as I've reflected back, Neil and GJ, towards those times when maybe I wasn't being congruent with myself, I figured out what it was, and I see this happening with so many other people. I had a perception in my mind of what I thought it meant to be professional. And I concocted this image that really, wasn't what I should have been doing, but I thought that it was professional. And I wanted to be professional in my business. I wanted to do a good job. I desired to have success like other people that I saw who did, this type of a business professionally. But for me, it meant dressing a certain way, carrying a briefcase, talking with a certain tone of voice, putting on the sales pitch, that sort of a thing. What I came to realize was being professional just means, hey, working your business when you set business hours to work it, treating people with honor and respect, keeping your appointments when you say that you're going to be there. GJ and I have a little bit of a history about that one. He taught me some really good life lessons about keeping appointments, but, being on time, being punctual, doing the things that you say that you're going to do, stand by your word, give it your best shot to undergird other people's lives and their dreams and to work hard for them. That's really what it means to be a professional in this or any industry, in my opinion, not the dressing a certain way, using the certain lingo, carrying the briefcase, and feeling like I had to put the sales pitch on. And when I had that transference in my mindset of how I was defining professional, that it wasn't, the look and the speech, but really it was more about principles. That really was a big shift for me.
Definitely, I could see absolutely. As an entrepreneur, I see that when I'm selling, I don't feel real good about it. But when I'm sharing my passions and my dreams and my aspirations and how I can help others, GJ, I'm more able to have success, and have more ability to really help other people, and that's the key.
Well, you both hit it on the head. It's helping other people, and when you show a true, sincere concern and care and respect for other people, people pick up on it. And I believe it's an innate system within each human body that we have a way of picking up these messages, whether they're real or whether they're fake. And sometimes some people are good at putting their best foot forward, and they're really not who they say they are. Over time, that it is revealed, and some people pick that up very quickly. And obviously, the three of us we all have this congruency of we really care about people, and we're always looking for a win-win relationship. And when people see that and feel that, that's really a big part of just being professional. And they hit on a really key word: transference. The transference of thinking that I've got to be one way to really who I am, and then just honoring time, honoring commitments, honoring appointments, and honoring the person, and also honoring yourself. People pick up on that, and to me, that's the greatest gift of being professional.
Do you agree, Nate? I think that's so key of the whole process of taking it to the next level as an entrepreneur is to have all those skill sets. However, you got to be true to yourself.
Yeah, one of the big things that GJ just said was, even learning how to honor yourself. And that was something for a long time I wasn't sure that I was allowed to do, in this kind of an industry. I thought that I was just supposed to work hard, be on the phone all the time. Anytime my phone rang, that I was supposed to be there to answer any three-way call, any question, customer service, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And what happens is you can almost just become a doormat. And as I began to honor myself and my time and my appointments with my family, with my wife, with my kids, my appointments with myself, just to maybe take time to think or to get my exercise in, I've noticed, whenever I saw those qualities in great leaders like GJ, I know that he is a planned man. He has his life, pinned out for what he's going to do. He works hard when it's time to work, but when it's time to do other things, he had no problem living these other roles in his life. That was a great example that he gave me to see how he was honoring himself and the other facets of his being, because, we are human beings. We're not just body-by-body people. We're not just ViSalians. We're not just carpenters or electricians or beauticians or pastors or whatever our occupation or means of getting money. That's not the only thing that defines us. There are so many other things that define us. And so that was a big one that I have witnessed GJ model as well as coach, and that is learning to honor oneself. And when our people that are following us feel that and they sense that, hey, we honor ourselves as well in our own time, they begin to honor our time more. But now we've also paid it forward into their lives so that they'll start to honor their time more as well. And so if we're going to impact lives, I, for one, want to impact lives holistically. Do I want to impact people and helping them lose weight? Absolutely. Make a little extra money? Sure. But teaching them how to be set free from improper thinking patterns is a big one. And one of the greatest things about the home-based business industry for me has been that it has taught me so many things. Has it made me a living? Absolutely. But I've learned so many life skills and life lessons that transcend the boundaries of this great industry that we're a part of.
It's so true in a lot of ways to look at the learning curve, to learn from your mistakes, to learn from the best, surround yourself with the right people, that GJ always says in his book. And another key component, Nate, you were able to touch upon, is specifically enough looking at staying true to yourself, but the whole time about really it's not ViSalus 24/7. It's not your job 24/7. Even though you are an entrepreneur, you take time to enjoy yourself. You take time to play. As GJ's done, as we know, if you go ahead and like him on Facebook, GJ Reynolds, you'll see all the fun things he does. He plays. He has some unbelievable life experiences. He knows when it's family time and when it's time to work. He has an order in his life. And that's the key component of success of any entrepreneur that is $1 million or more earner. They really choose times when they're going to work, and they have focused sessions where they are focused at this certain amount of time, but when it's time to relax, they relax. Isn't that true, G?
Well, I know most people attempt to do that, and I've had to learn to do that for myself. And, I did a lot of the same things that Nate, articulated, in just a few moments ago. And I had to learn how to be comfortable with my role and where I was at in life, and also the other responsibilities and things that I had going on in my life. One of the things that I see a lot of people do, they get so inundated what they should do or what they shouldn't do that sometimes it paralyzes them. And what I found, what worked for me is like having a mission, having my vision, and being very, very clear about that. And then I always know whatever I'm doing is either moving me closer to my mission or it's moving me further away. And so that's a key aspect of being successful, is know where you're going and be clear on what that is and how you're going to go about getting there. And for me, it constantly grows. And then the other thing that I've learned for myself is that everything I do is so I can go have fun, so I can go have life experiences, and so I can really have impact with people's lives. That's my motivation. That's why I get up in the morning and go do the things I do. At one point it used to be, well, I'd like to have a little bit extra money. I'd like to, be able to, buy this or do this. And it was more on the material items versus the living items. And now I'm focused on living versus just going to buy stuff. I mean, I buy nice stuff and I like nice stuff. And obviously you get me and Nate together shopping, that can be very dangerous because we can easily push each other over the cliff. Like, yeah, you need that. That looks great on you, man. Woo! That'll go with that outfit, man. I can see you on stage with that. Like, really? Okay.
That's so true.
So we've overspent. The other aspect is that we make it a life experience when we go do those things. And one of the things we saw each other last weekend, and we're like, we enjoy these get-togethers because we always have the life experience. And through that, we have fun. And when then other people see that, other people get to be a part of that, and it has impact. And so I think one of the best things that one person can do is that instead of doing what they're doing because they have to or they feel like they have to, is create a vision and a mission so that everything you're doing is to help you do that. Then it becomes more fun, it becomes more passionate, it becomes more purposeful, and you tend to be more purposeful in the other areas of your life.
So true. And to think about specifically when I've gone to events with you guys and the life experiences, they're a lot of fun. We definitely have some fun in LA, Orlando, and San Diego with G. He's a blast and so many cool things, and hanging out with Nate and talking about our faith and sharing and really being a family. And I think that's a key. And I think now with the new message, one of the new process is really to challenge others. And Nate, I want you to share a little bit about that, especially what you again attended the event in Detroit as well, and about how now we're looking to challenge people. We're out there, challenging them in a lot of ways, challenging people to change their lives, to feel better, to feel healthy, to be able to possibly make more money. Nate, that's the key thing, especially with New Year's resolutions and everything, is to challenge others and explain how you do that in a way that's authentic and not over the top sales. It's more about you really care for that person, you want to challenge them.
Yeah, it's that's a great question. As I was listening to GJ talk, and even you talk about how he's so congruent within himself and lives a full life. I was thinking about our business model where we just share the challenge. Exactly what you were just going to ask me. I'm so glad you asked that question because a lot of home-based businesses, frankly, in order to go to a professional level, I think that a lot of times it can require a tremendous amount of time. It can be very difficult. I know that many times they have, these Saturday events every single month of the year trying to train people who are not salespeople and trying to teach them how to be salespeople. And so it can be very difficult. I even see people come to our business model sometimes, and because that's their limiting belief, that's their false pretense of what they think that we do, they don't get it. And you just hit the nail on the head, Neil, when you just said we just challenge people. And that's what makes this model so simple, and because it's simple, it then frees us up to go on those crazy shopping sprees where, GJ and I think we're like in and out of every single product store within a 100-mile radius, no matter where we go. We love to shop. We love to be with our families. We love to have great life experiences. We love to travel all over the world. Doing the things that we want to do to enrich and enhance our lives and the lives of our spouses and the lives of our children. It has to be simple in order to be able to go and to enjoy the fruit of your labor. And because our message is just say, hey, Neil, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, and I'm looking for somebody to lose 10 pounds with me. I'm challenging you to lose 10 pounds. And you know what? For every 10 pounds we lose, we're going to get to help feed some malnourished or hungry kids. Are you in or are you out? Come on, this is going to be fun. That's a simple message that anybody can do. And the fact that we're doing it together, I always message that, come on, let's do this together. It helps make it that much more fun. Hey, I'm on my challenge. GJ challenged me, so I'm challenging you. And that helps us to be able to avoid, some of the things that out here. I've heard some people will just go out and pick somebody that's overweight and say, hey, I challenge you to lose 10 pounds. You can't do it that way. When you do it you're going to have those pitfalls when you're disingenuous and you're not congruent with the challenge yourself. But when you're on the challenge yourself, it makes your message real and authentic. Now you can say, hey, I just got challenged by GJ Reynolds, and I'm calling you out, buddy, and I'm challenging you. And start to challenge people that you know first, and then move into maybe the relationships that you're creating into the marketplace, which I know that GJ is great at that. He talked a little bit ago about how he'll spark somebody that has on maybe a Falcons sweatshirt. I'll use the Falcons because I'm a big Falcons fan. Or, maybe they've got on a LA Lakers hat or something, and he'll just find a way to connect in and to see if the door, opportunity presents itself. But because our model is simple, and it's just, hey, my buddy challenged me, and so I'm challenging you. Come on, let's do this. And the worst thing that's going to happen is we're going to help some hungry kids. It's just a simple message. Anybody can do it, and it keeps us from having to go out and to teach people that are not salespeople how to be salespeople. We don't want to do that. We want to have a message and a model that everybody can do.
Well, before we get to another question I want to follow up with GJ on, I think you guys need a reality show. Two guys who like to go shopping, and the two biggest characters in the world, and we just film them going shopping, especially Rodeo Drive, go to L.A., go to New York, and you see two guys who are average, everyday men enjoying shopping, and you can really be those metrosexuals. You've heard about that before, and I'll tell you, it'll be awesome because again, I know that people would enjoy that show. What do you think of that, G? I got an idea for a show.
Well, I love it. We would have fun. I would probably bring in one other person that is probably more of a shopaholic than both me and Nate together, and that'd be Tony Lucero. I mean, we did have a few shopping sprees together. But last night I was online, and I was actually looking at a pair of shoes, and I was like, "Oh, Nate would like those. Those are Nate Ridgeway shoes." And I was like, "Man, those are pretty good price." I go, but I forgot what size Nate wore because it had limited sizes, and I was like. But I was thinking about Nate last night just on a pair of shoes. So we would definitely have a lot of fun. I guess we'd have to both build new houses to have bigger clubs. I do have a rule at my house that my wife started is like For every shirt I buy, I have to get rid of 2. For every pair of shoes I buy, I have to get rid of 2. I haven't honored the shoe thing very well, although I have given a few pair away to the needy. But going back to what Nate said, Neil, is he said Neil, challenging Neil to lose 10 pounds. That sounds like a challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. Do I hear a challenge accepted?
Exactly. That's pretty much all it is. And if Nate's challenged me to lose 10 pounds, hey, challenge accepted. I already challenged GJ to knock him down in basketball, and he's accepted that challenge. And we could challenge him on anything, as GJ was talking about before, pull-ups, sit-ups, arm wrestling, who knows, professional wrestling. You never know what you want to challenge somebody. We want to challenge them to be healthy and to feel good, especially when we're in this society of fast foods and terrible foods, and things have come up on Nate, and this is the last thing I want to touch upon before the interview's over, is that things have come out in McDonald's, that what we're putting in our food at these fast food restaurants is so dangerous to our children, to our health, and we're thinking, oh yeah, we're looking at the calories, but it's really not food at all. And that's really scary, that, in our fast-paced lives, that we go ahead and take our kids out to, fast food restaurants or restaurants in general, and we don't know what we're putting in their bodies, and it's really scary.
Yeah, it is scary. I've got 2 kids. They're growing up, man. They're 10 and 12 now, and we think hard to keep them in a really streamlined diet. Lots of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and things like that. And one of the great things about the challenge is I know that I can put products in their body that I feel good about. I mean, the gentleman that invented our shake, he guinea pigged it on his own wife and kids. So that's always a thumbs up, to me, whenever, a doctor is willing to, or a nutritionist is willing to guinea pig their products on their own family. And it's a great option, because a lot of times we are in a hurry and we are looking for, fast food, but it's got to be inexpensive. It's got to be healthy, and it's got to taste good. And I know that for us as parents, it's a big deal, to get that good nutrition, because when you're on the fly, man, you got to grab a shake and go. It's something that we can get out, we can make it, we can consume it and clean it up and be done in about 5 minutes and out the door, which is a much healthier option than, swinging through Burger King, McDonald's, or some other fast food joint.
Absolutely. So, Nate, where can we find information on you and learn more about you? And then we'll go ahead and easily, G can tell us where we can find him. It's simple. But go ahead, Nate, where can we find info on you? And I really appreciate providing these entrepreneurial tips for anyone's business to look at specifically enough to get healthy, but also make those right choices when you're sharing something you really are passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me pretty much any social media, twitter.com/Nate Ridgeway. That's NateRidgeway, Nate Ridgeway. Same thing at Tumblr, same thing at Instagram, same thing at Facebook, Nate Ridgeway. Google me up, you'll find me.
All right, G, and we can find information on you at simplyg.com and simplygmedia.com to listen to the shows, right? Correct, G?
That's correct. You can also find Nate and I either at any Armani or Prada store.
I think that I think TLC's already calling me saying that we got to get the show together and then film every time you guys get together, and it could be a great show. And the wives are just getting angry when those two are out shopping and are more shopaholics than they are. So that would be an interesting show for sure. So good talking to you guys, and best of luck, and what a great show. And Nate, thanks again for stopping by, and look forward to hearing from you in a couple months and hear what's going on with you, all right?
An absolute honor. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right. Take care, G. Okay. All right. You're listening to Beach Lifestyle Radio Show on the Simply G Media Network, and we'll be back in just a moment.